Good morning, welcome to another one of my videos. In this video I'm going to show you the sort of next steps of making grills compared to my previous video where I talked about not taking the impression but scanning the impression with a 3D scanner, porting it into Nomad Sculpt and creating the grills in there on your iPad. Slicing it, I slice it on my laptop. I think you probably be able to get a slicing software for an iPad but I haven't used that. And then 3D printing it. I've got my printer going now actually with some new grills. And then in this video I'll show you how to, I don't actually cast myself, but I'll show you how to package up for casting. And then I send my grills to a casting house in Birmingham called Merrill Casting in the Jewellery Quarter. They're really good. I do recommend them. So yeah, I'll show you how I package up my grills to send them there, and then show you once I've got them back how I, refine and polish them, ready to be sent out. I had quite a few questions as well on my previous video whether I have to compensate for shrinkage, like when casting my prints. And I haven't really experienced many problems with the castable resin that I use. But previously when I made grills with, like normal wax, I did have some issues if I didn't use like a crown wax specifically for, dental applications. If you use, you can get Ferris wax. I've heard some people really get along with it well. But for me, if I created a design that was quite thick or more than one tooth, that could sometimes shrink a little bit too much. But as I said, I haven't had many problems with it. I'll let you know if I do and tell you what I'd do about it. But I think it should be fine. If you do have a problem, then, I don't know, it's not too hard to fix. But yeah, let's see what's next. So as usual, the first thing with all grills would be a dental impression. My customer sent this back. The design she wanted was a classic cap, a window with green enamel inside, a star cut out, and then an R initial on another window. Scanned this mould with my Revo Point Mini 2 and imported it into Nomad Sculpt on my iPad. This is where we're at on my iPad. As I said, you can see the actual design better here now. I've saved this as an STL file, imported it into a slicing software on my laptop, which I've actually changed now to Lychee Slicer. I forgot which one I was using before, but I couldn't get back onto it for some reason. So this is where I'm at now. I don't know why I couldn't get on it. I've got a few other little prints that I'm printing, so you see those when I've completed them. Always wear gloves and stuff, not with that resin but with another one. I did get it on my skin and got contact dermatitis like for days. It was really flared up, so just be aware of that, especially if you're a girl and you get your nails done. You don't want to get allergies because then you won't be able to get a lot of biab and stuff like me. But I can get it, so yeah, always wear PPE. And even after you do that, just wash your hands after, because it does really help get it all off. You don't want to get it. So anyway, that's just printing now. It says 2.5 hours. I don't know whether that's going to take that long. So I'll get back to you then. So it's now the next day. I have printed all my grills and added the sprues to them, like this. This is where, if you don't know about lost wax casting, this is where all the items that are getting cast will all be put onto like a tree, and these sprues are where, once the wax is melted out, the metal will float down these like a little funnel into the actual grills basically. But on the tree there'll be lots of like rings and everything else that the casting house is casting. So I've done that, and then I'm going to show you how to package them up, or how I package them up. I've tried a few different methods in my time, and I do find that this is the best, especially for grills because it's so small. This is like the third one of these I've bought, where most of the time, like 9 times out of 10, they do send it back to me. So I'll show you how to do that now, or how I do it anyway. So these are the grills that I've made, and I think last time I said that I don't really have to compensate for shrinkage. I don't know whether I mentioned that I do go around with my normal crown wax post-printing just to make sure everything's as nice and tight as it could be. So these are the things I'm getting cast. I've got this bow grill design, and then, as I said, I've put the sprue on, and this will be cast in silver. I've got this is the one I showed in the video, so the R initial, the star, and the cap and the window. As I said, this is going to be green enamel, and then I put the sprues on there. I've got this one which I actually hand waxed because this impression isn't very good, so I just thought it'd be a waste of time scanning it basically. So I hand waxed that. It's a little window with a cap and then a sparkle, and then you can see those. I did actually break the little petal off when I was taking off the sports, which was annoying, but I know I should have been more delicate when doing it, but oh well. So this is a bead box that I got from Amazon, and I actually just use, well, just any tissue, so, or like kitchen roll or something, and I just line the boxes, put it about right. Normally when they send them back, it just has a tissue in anyway, so I can just carry on from there, but this is a new box. So I just line each box with the tissue. As I said, this is the grillz with the sprue on. Literally just place them in. So that's just the way it is, they're all sitting in there. Obviously, I used to make a lot of grillz, so this would be full. I've only got a few now. So they're all there. And then again, I just get some more tissue. Sometimes I have to split this up a bit because I don't want it to be too thick. I forgot to mention, one of these is going to be gold, this one, and then the rest is going to be silver. So I would actually, I'm going to swap those around. I'm actually going to move that one a little bit further out as well, just so I can keep it segregated. So when I write a little note on there, I can say that one is gold. And then just create sort of little lids for them. I literally just put a note saying those are silver, and then that's 9-carat yellow gold. Close the lid, and that's it. Those little notes won't move. I put that in like a bubble mailer thing and send it off. And the sprues, if you don't have those, they can actually put them on there and you can just send the grillz. But I think it is something like £4 per sprue, which does add up. I'll write a note with to put into the parcel as well that will say, obviously, my name, the return address, where to send the invoice to. And then that's it. They should be back to me when it's all complete. I'll let you know when I've got it back. So thanks. A few days have passed now and I've got the grillz back. I'm going to show you the equipment that I use, sort of talk through what they do, and then polish these up and show you the next steps. Okay, so please do not mind the mess of my desk. I use the Fordham, sorry, that's a little vlog. I use the Fordham micromotor. This comes with this handle, it's got a foot pedal, and then the shank on here, like the collet, is 2.35mm. So if you ever buy little bits like this, you need to make sure they're 2.35mm, not 3mm. But I think if you get sort of a less branded one or something, well, just check what size collet yours is before you buy random things. I've got some just from Amazon, sort of like diamond drill bits. I don't think it's actual diamond, but just little drill bits, like burr bits. I have a box of sort of polishing tools. I've got like felt wheels. That's to make a brush finish. I don't really need that. I've got sanding bands. I also use a saw to cut off the sprues. I didn't show you, these are the grillz. They, to be honest, haven't turned out that nicely. Normally when I get things back from the casters, they're quite neat. I don't know whether it's because I've been using the resin, it's a bit different to how I use wax. I haven't actually made that many grillz with the resin. It does cast differently, to be honest, so it needs a little bit more cleaner. So yeah, I use the saw with just a regular blade and some beeswax to cut off the sprues. These are the sprues. So I'll just show you sort of my process and whatever I want to use as I'm doing it, because I'll probably pick up different things depending on what I want, but I'll try and show you all the steps. And then, so of course, also you need a mask and glasses, and I also like to wear headphones, not ear protection headphones, just headphones. Also, you can get quite dirty and dusty on your face because of the polishing compounds. I'll show you that after. So, and you don't want to breathe those in either, so make sure you do wear PPE, it's super important. And that's it, so I'll show you the polishing. So I use the saw blade with the beeswax to lubricate it to cut off the sprues. I have previously used different methods. You can use sort of like snips to cut them off. if it's not too thick. And then also you can use a like a cutting disc on the micromotor, and that works too, but it's quite dusty and sort of scary as well, like an angle grinder. The first bit I'm using is a 240 grit sanding band. You can use this style, or there's like a sort of wheel type, or the yellow 3M wheel I showed you. That's sort of my favourite one to use, but clearly that's very very old and need to replace it. So I'd use this 240 grit to get rid of all the deep scratches, any sort of big marks that need to come out. I work my way around the whole tooth to go right up to the gum line, try and remove all the sprue sort of evidence. I go over the back of the teeth, try and make sure everything's nice and neat before obviously going into further polishing. Because any bits that you don't get, you will notice them at the end. So it's just worth getting it all out to start with. Take it off the dental mould and go all over it, just make sure everything's as smooth as possible. I'd then bring this up to around a 600 grit before moving on to the next tool. I move on to using the radial abrasive bits. So as I said before, I have a yellow which is a coarse, I have a blue one which is medium to fine, the pink here is a fine one. Because they're quite flexible, they get into all the little grooves that you need it to, and I just think they're quite forgiving going around each tooth, so I do like using those and bring them right up to the highest grit I can. When you're happy with the base polishing, the initial polishing of the grills, and you're happy that you've got all the deep scratches out and they're ready to be, brought up to a higher standard, you can move on to sort of final polishing. I use a felt wheel. This is a sort of coarser, it's a rougher one, and I use it with the Dialux yellow polishing compound. So I use that, you don't need much of this touch on, and then just polish away. It can get quite hot, the grills can, in your fingers, so just use pliers, or you can use, I think it's called like gated tape or something like that around your fingers to protect them. I then go in with a lot softer felt wheel, it's quite a lot bigger, and I use the Dialux blue compound. These are silver grills, and if I was making gold grills, then I'd use the Dialux Rouge polishing compound instead, but the silver's more, the blue is more for silver metals. Once I'm pretty much happy with them, I will pop them into the ultrasonic. When I'm ready to ship them out, I'll give them a final little once over with a polishing cloth just to make sure and there's no scratches and they've got a real mirror finish. Post ultrasonics have allowed them to dry and then added the green enamel as the customer wanted. So this is how they're looking now. So this is the final result of the grills. They're pretty much finished now. I still need to give a final polish over and give them a little clean before I package them up and send them off. I hope you have learned something from this, or I've tried to explain it as well as I could, because in the last video I made, I had a lot of questions about the next steps. So I've tried to explain the polishing process, but again, it's something that's, you sort of develop your own style along the way. I could have done more steps, could have done less steps. It just depends like what you want to do at the time. Yeah, let me know what you thought, and thanks for watching.